eulogy, we can start.
Yep, it's 9 o'clock, so I'll
Sure.
make an announcement for people to
Yeah.
make
One
their
is the end sequence.
So I'll be speaking first.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The family will be sharing eulogies shortly. Those of you with a cell phone or electronic device can turn it to silent during the eulogies. Thank you.
You can wait sometime. Zoom link
We used to go for lunch. You are the only one. I see you. One of your daughters. Table tennis, right? I did not know you. That's Mumbai. You always enjoy talking to maybe one day, maybe 2 days. Very hard, but no money.
No fun, no fun.
I saw you yesterday in the table tennis. You didn't come? Oh, yeah, I just sent them because Chandrasekhar told me he'll be on 9th. Come across. Rao family. He may be in Atlanta. Then Chandrasekhar, Tirunaj, 10:15. But they'll be there, I'm sure they sent me.
9:15 or
9:15 you can start. And I did not know that Yashankar emailed him around time. You know, we know him for long. He was like, he and his family. So, all right.
your friend?
Oh, yeah, they're coming. I'm sure. Hey, grown men are eating out.
So we want.
He was good that day. He was very good. He's playing everything and he went to sleep. That time he fell down. No, on that area in the room, we want to increase the access. And
இருக்கட்டும்.
திறந்து வச்சிருவோம் உங்களுக்கு.
இல்லை அதுதான்
10 minutes away. Abhinam is 10 minutes away. If you want, we can start. Sudhakar is here. Sudhakar is come.
ஓகே வெரி
நம்ம
வெரி
start பண்ணலாமா?
ஆமாம் ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாம். Hello everyone. I am Mani, Shri Subbiah's first son-in-law. Um, I'm really grateful that you're all here for the solemn occasion to send off Uncle. I always call him Uncle. I've always called him as Uncle since I was 12. From childhood, I've known him. And so mainly we want to make this nice, dignified, and a warm send-off for Uncle. And really glad you're all able to take the time and be here. Can you all hear me clearly? Okay. Okay. There's a couple of housekeeping. Coffee, tea, and water upstairs. There is a lounge upstairs. So if I'm not sure, please ask the staff. Any of the staff, they'll guide you to the lounge upstairs. Yeah. And so we're going to finish the visitation at 10:15, because then we are moving to the Whitechapel Cemetery, about 2 miles from here, Long Lake Road. And the cremation has to be done before 12. So we're going to try to stick to the timing at 10:15. For the puja will be done at the Whitechapel Cemetery itself. So starting roughly around 10:45. Any of you, if you would like to join and join us to come to the crematorium, see the puja, you're more than welcome. Okay. Just make sure that you tell one of the staff, okay, you have to park the car on the north side. Sure. So north side is this side, I guess. Okay. And they'll give you the flag for the car. So just please make sure that that you tell them ahead of time and be ready in the car lineup. Okay. So that we'll be leaving around 10:15, 10:30 time frame there. So, So I want to say a few words. My interaction with Uncle, okay, my own perception, and I'm speaking on behalf of 4 sons-in-law. Okay. So I'm the first son-in-law, and Anbu is here as the third son-in-law. Dhanashekar, second son-in-law, is in Bangalore, and Giridhar is last fourth son-in-law is in Chennai. Okay, so from our perspective, our interaction, we just want to say a few words. Okay, I mean, since childhood, in age of 12 in Coimbatore, I first met him, and distantly related, of course. Okay, and he's always looked at me like a son at the time. In fact, all the sons-in-law, he just looked at as his own sons. That's the way his outlook was, and you know, I still remember the time, 1981, and I first came to US from Anandnagar to the airport. So I was basically sandwiched in about 20 something, whatever, between the driver and the uncle, essentially. And it was a non-stop advice sermon. My mind is, okay, I'm leaving everybody behind, and here uncle was giving advice. And then my father was sitting in the back seat. And I can imagine him thinking of that. Well, Mr. Subbiah, he's doing my bidding, he's playing my role. And so he was completely silent in the back seat. So essentially, that's his outlook. So we were just like son. Um, Uncle passed away on Monday morning, early morning, yeah, August 1st. Yeah, the August 1st is very special significance. Uh, four, 4 years ago, auntie passed away, exact same date. I'm not sure how that happened. So that is very special. So uncle was born in Alankulam, small village near Sangran Goil. That's in Tengasi district. Yeah, so any of you are from Tengasi district there. Okay. And he was the first engineering graduate from his village. So I was very, very proud. Studied in PSG Tech in Coimbatore, engineering. And he went on. He was part of the the military engineering services, part of the defense department. Okay. And yeah, he's such a pleasant personality, hardworking, and the talent, right combination. And he went right up to the top and became the chief engineer. Traveled all over India. The family has been different places: Pune, Delhi, Shillong, and so on. So, a lot of friends. I mean, he had no shortage of friends. So there's a easygoing personality, ready smile, always pleasant. I never heard him yell, get angry, and shout. Okay. So that pleasantness is always there. Yeah, so that's his personality. You can literally feel it. Um, so uncle lived a very full life, um, um, with 4 daughters, sons-in-law, and 7 grandchildren. Okay, he was truly blessed, and a life well lived. Okay. Um, a very eager sportsman. Okay, whatever it is, he used to play. I'm a big swimmer from childhood, volleyball, badminton, whatever it is. And his passion was golf. That's a avid golfer, and golf was a connection um, between me and him too. So I played in all courses pretty much around Sylvan Glen, Hampton, Pine Trace, and so on. He played just about a month ago. Okay, that was the last game I remember. And 10 days ago? Okay, in Hampton? Hampton. I, his favorite was the first shot, so drive. So he's always particular drive, and so that was his passion. And uh, he was also a bridge player. So he had a bridge group here. He really got attached to many of the people here very quickly. You used to look forward to bridge, 2 o'clock, yeah, Monday and Thursdays, I think. So I'm looking forward to a bridge. The big stock market enthusiast. Okay, till a few months ago, every day in the night, he used to get up and monitor and do the trading and so on. But his happiest I've seen him from my perception, is playing. Happiest is when he was playing with the grandchildren, playing cards with the grandchildren, whether live or online. That brought a special glow okay. And so he carried himself so well wherever he was, at work, home, and play. He had a personality, a style, that a lot that I have to learn from him as a father figure. Most important thing is his pleasantness and the sense of humor. Um, that's a special gift. I mean, he carried that till the very end. Until the very end. Um, so, um, I mean, I'm definitely gonna miss him. You're truly a gentle soul. very, being part of the military engineering services, we had the military discipline. Everything had to be organized. Okay, I still remember Sunday morning, 9 a.m. used to be. You can literally set your time. So take the chair left, come down. Okay, the 9 a.m. every morning, no matter what. So you'll always be there. And on Sunday, I just want to speak a few things about Sunday. Um, um, he was fully active on Sunday. Sunday afternoon, we had this golf tournament in Detroit Golf Club, Rocket Mortgage Classic. So from 2 to 4, 2 to 6 p.m., so the final day, Sunday, he was just glued, sitting and watching on ESPN. And Lata and I, we were live. We went down to Detroit and we were watching the match there. And he was not only watching the match, and then he was also looking on the TV screen. He said, where is Lata and Money? I want to see. And then he was texting us constantly. And so fully engaged, 2 to 6 p.m. Normal nap time, all that passed. Okay, so I watched that. Then, so I skipped his nap Sunday, and then we played cards. Okay. Lata, Uma, myself, we all sat down, played cards till about 9:30 to 10:30 after dinner. Uh, and then I thought they'll probably be sleepy and go on. Then Lata asked, well, அப்பா இந்த அந்த நாள் படம் நம்ம பார்த்தோம், அதை முடிக்கல நம்ம, பார்க்குறீங்களா? So I said, okay, பார்க்கலாம். Okay. So we all sat and watched the movie, the second half of it, and he was wide awake. Okay. And monitoring everything. Around 11, usually he'll be sleepy and his head will kind of flop down and all that. But this day, fully alert till 12:15. Then 12:15, the movie was over. Then Lata asked, she's always quizzing him. அப்பா படம் புரிஞ்சுதா? யார் மர்டர் பண்ணது? Okay, so wife தான் murder பண்ணது. So he was alert and fully engaged there. So 12:15 he went up, and 12:30 trouble started. Okay, 12:30. Okay, so that's August 1st. Yeah. So 12:30 collapsed, fell on his back. We all rushed. I heard the sound, then I rushed. Uma was also staying with us, and Lata was, of course, right next, just getting ready to say goodnight to him. Okay, so she heard the sound, and then went running, and then I went running up too. We propped him up, and then he was moaning, and he was trying to get his breath, and but his pulse was rapidly dropping, body was getting colder. Called the paramedics, ambulance. So that was around 12:30. So the paramedics took him to Crittenton Hospital. I think 1:38 a.m. he had left us. So we think that he had pretty much left, even before he got out of the house. So he slipped away. Okay, but very peaceful, and just the way he wanted. So I said, I don't want any prolonged suffering there. So that's the study. So he's fully active on the last day, and the previous day, of course, the other passion is I didn't mention cricket. Of course, so the entire West Indies matches, he completely watched all the matches. He never misses any of those things. So they're all his passion. So very, it's just an alert person and fully mentally alert till the very end. And so I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him. So now I'll ask Umar to say a few words. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming and giving us all the moral support from all over the world, I would say. All the friends, all the family members, all of us everywhere, they are giving us a lot of strength and courage at this time. It's a really tough time for all of us, but we are very proud of our parents. And I'm representing all my sisters here. We are four sisters. I'm the third one, Uma. Um, So when I was thinking of writing an eulogy for my dad, um, I was thinking what I could bring out of the best of what our parents have given us. It just came up that I found a small note that he had written a long time ago for us, and I thought I would just read out the entire note that he wrote, and which is what my parents stood for, and we as the four daughters want to also stand by what our parents wanted us to learn, or what their teachings would have been. So, um, and the four daughters, I would like to name the four daughters here. Lata, she's right here. Vijayakala, she's in Bangalore. She's a doctor. I'm Uma, and I'm a software engineer here in Siemens. And the youngest sister, Priya, she's in Chennai. The two sisters who could not come here, we were showing them live on the video, and they are devastated. And we both are representing them, and we are passing on, all the courage and all of parents' blessings back home. So the wordings from my dad, this is how it goes. To whomsoever it is concerned, a bit of philosophy. Like various seasons that occur on earth, we, the living beings, are also to pass through various stages of good and bad. It is not in our hand to stop them, but it is in our mind to control and treat them on equal footings. Really, there is nothing like good or bad in abstract terms. It all depends how you take it. What appears good today may be bad the next day, and so is the case with bad thing. You believe in God, not on obscure and blind faith, on things which are irrelevant and irrational, such as dosham, nivardhane, etc., which are a creation by some sector of people for their own benefits or living. They are using your weaknesses and execute a fear and conduct some puja and convince you that dosham has gone. Bakwas, nonsense. It is sufficient if you do your own puja to bring a curtain of God's blessings around you. Believe always that God is always with you. You believe yourself because God is within you. Have self confidence and faith. Faith in yourself will create a strong feeling of confidence around you. You can walk, talk, and act with ease. You believe in your own actions, karma yoga. Work with positive attitude. Work hard, which will add up to your memory, knowledge, and results. By your mental power, you can change the fate. Madiyal vidiye vellalam. Be satisfied, but be ambitious. Be calm. Keep your mind at ease. Remain relaxed. So I found this note apparently when I was collecting items to take to India as my India trip was coming up. I found this note there, and I was thinking this is the right moment that it came in my hand, because my dad at sometimes he would feel weak and he would say, today is a very sad day for me, I don't want to do any activities. But Lata and I we used to encourage him, think one or two things that you can achieve every day, dad. And I read out this what he had written himself, and he said this is the right advice for myself today. He read it out, he told me that. So this is what I think is the best way to read out an eulogy for my dad, what he wrote himself. Thank you. Then I would like to request my cousin who's come all the way from Atlanta, Gopi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gopi. I'm cousins for the four sisters. I'm representing the mother's side, my Chitti's side, and I would like to share my experiences with Chittappa and a few of things that I've learned from him. Okay, better? Yeah. There are a few uh, people that I first like to thank. First is my four wonderful sisters and my brothers-in-law. And they gave my Chittappa a wonderful life after my Chitti passed away. They made him so comfortable, so welcome, and made sure that all his needs were taken care of. I sincerely thank my brother-in-law for doing that. Also, my sisters for taking care of him so well. I'm sure Chitti was the love of his life, but I think they gave a very nice life for him when he was here in Detroit. There are a few things that, as Atan mentioned and as Uma said, humor, discipline, patience, abundant love for everybody, very inspirational person. These are some of my characters from my Chittappa that I will always take, as learning for me. Humor, I have enjoyed his subtle way by which he passes his comments, especially when he is playing cards and very competitive. You have to definitely, he has to win. And the way he kind of, nudges us, it's an amazing experience uh, for everyone who's played games with him. When you look at the discipline, as Atta mentioned, through his hard work and from a humble beginning, he rose to greatest heights. And I was firsthand experienced, seeing him in places in Bangalore and Hyderabad when he was chief engineer. I'm also a civil engineer by education. I didn't go in that line, but I learned a lot from him. How to move with people, and how to really take care of people. The pride that he took, the patriotism by which he worked for the military engineering services was amazing. I mean, he was, I think, what, captain in rank or something he mentioned, or even chief engineer was the thing, but his equivalent in military was something, brigadier or something. So I've seen him in his uniform, when he goes to the field. It's an amazing experience to, and I don't know how many of his daughters had been there, but I have been on the field with him, and because I was a civil engineer, so he really took me, and he was the one who actually introduced me to golf. In those days in Bangalore, I mean, that was a big thing for me, because I was, I think, third year's engineering student. So he invited me, and I spent 2 weeks with him. It was a great experience. I mean, in those days, to even, I mean, play tennis was a big deal, and for him to introduce me to golf at that time was an amazing experience. So as a person, he was so nice, to us, and it was very inspirational, to see him to go from that humble beginning to go to that great heights. He really, inspired many people in his life. Patience, this is something that, I don't know how many of you all may know. The way he took care of Uma when she met with the accident, if I may say, that experience was amazing. I mean, Hyderabad, I still remember those days. He used to sit with her and use so many, like the soft whatever petals they gave, and during her accident, it was amazing experience. How much of confidence he gave her for her to overcome that. The way he took care of her every time I was there with him, again another 2 3 weeks, as soon as I heard, I was just there, had joined working for a company, so I went there and spent time with them. It was a great experience. I even Chitti did not do so much. I remember Chittappa taking care of her so much, and the way he supported her and gave her that encouragement, gave her that confidence. I 100% believe in the letter that he had written. He stands by every one of those. So that is a quality that I would love to incorporate, and I'm trying to do that. In my life, how you can be patient, how you can really take care of your loved ones. Hard work, you don't even have to say. I've seen him spend like 16 hours, 18-hour days, come back and spend with equal zest with family also. So he had a nice way of balancing the professional and personal life. Even though he may have so much pressure at work, when he comes home, it's all gone. When he comes into the home, it's with the children. And he's a person who really enjoys life. I mean, every sip of the drink that he takes, the swish that he makes, I mean, he enjoys, every bit of it. And he lived in the present. He always, liked, the nicer things in life. The way his suit is, the way he ties his tie. He's an immaculate person that I've always looked up to. And I sincerely believe that, all of us, if we can take some of these qualities in our life, we'll be better human beings. And the later stages of his life, that was an amazing transition for a person who had so much power and clout and say in his professional life. After his retirement, the way he transitioned was beautiful. We have to really give it to him. His interest in philosophy, his interest in Tamil language. I believe he had volunteered at the Tamil school here. So he wanted to give back. So there's definitely things that he had done, and the way he transitioned, as Atan said, going to golf, understanding philosophy. I think he was into Vedadri Maharshi's sky meditation, a very avid, follower of that, and he also performed meditation regularly at home. So it was a very nice transition, that I could see, from the busy person that he was to a nice retired person who enjoyed time with his grandchildren. So that was very nice. And I should again thank my Atan and sisters to give him that opportunity to make that transition very smooth. So with that, his legacy is something that we as family members will all be remembering. He will definitely be missed in a big way. And as I said, we will all be better human beings if we can instill some of his qualities in our day-to-day life. Thank you so much.
Now I call upon Anushya, his oldest granddaughter.
And I'm calling upon all of my cousins that are physically here and the 3 that are in India. So you all know Abhi, Vaish, and my sister Monisha. There's Gautam, who is a little older than Abhi, and Chandu, and our littlest one is Nila. She's in Chennai right now. So just like everyone was saying, thank you all for coming. So I tend to handle loss a little differently than most of the people here. I usually think about the good and carry them with me and move on with the future because that's what they would want us to do. And Tata was no different. But this physical loss is going to be hard. Definitely going to be hard. So I just wanted to start by saying that we are truly honored to be able to stand here and talk about Tata to all of you. Even the ones that he met here only for a few moments, I'm sure you have stories that you would want to share at this podium because each moment would have been so impactful. And so if you do have those stories, please come to us later and tell us because we don't want to stop learning about him. I was there for maybe a little less than half of his life, so there's a lot that we have to learn. I actually the last speech was it was a good transition to what I was about to say. I have never met in the 34 years of life, I've never met anyone that loved life so much. He truly loved every moment of it. And I don't think that one life was enough for him. He never lived like he only had one, like he just wanted to keep going. Um, and so it started with obviously he valued career. He became a civil engineer, but also had the ability to have a beautiful wife like Shanti Pati, and then bring up 4 wonderful, strong, independent daughters whom you've all heard about and probably know a lot about. So he did that in parallel. He was also able to, I don't know if this was mentioned, but he, just because of his curiosity, pursued a degree in law while he was working and had a family. Just because he was curious. He had no intention of actually practicing. I talked to him about this because I was so curious myself. And on top of that, when we used to go visit him, I think every couple of years, he would he would patiently sit with us after a whole day of work, patiently sit with us and play games. It was something we demanded back then. I remember we waited and we had the cards ready on the bed for him, and he would come and play with us no matter how tired he was. But and he did the same thing when he came and lived here. He lovingly demanded the same thing back from us. So all of this was just what provided him the energy and excitement for life, and he kind of transitioned that to us. We're seeing that in ourselves today. Oh, one more thing. He loved the market. He loved to play the market, and it was a day-to-day thing. So he did it on India time when he lived in India. But when he moved here, he was doing it on both in the US and in India. So he basically was living more than a 16-hour day. It was pretty much all the time. um, so today, we're here to celebrate the life of someone who loved to live it. And I know that there were moments for Tata, not just recently, but throughout his life that were not easy. But he was able to handle, like you heard, he was able to handle it with a lot of grace. He Every decision he made, he brought tradition, he brought class, but he also brought a little bit of edge, which helped him move forward and helped the rest of us move forward as well. And so really, if you've taken a look at all the pictures on the slideshow and on the posters, we really truly had our own Rajnikant at home. He had his like swag, he did his thing, he had these Bollywood poses that none of us can really mimic. It was just between him and Patti. Um, so, uh, you know, he we all are taking this August 1st date a little differently. I think that he wanted to leave us in the best way possible. And so he spent that whole last few moments, the last couple of days, interacting with the people he loved. And like you heard, doing the things he loved. And then he chose the day that was already dedicated to Patti to kind of leave the physical world, because I don't think he wanted the sole attention for himself on any other day. And he wanted to be with his true love. So these are just little things, but I'm going to mention a few more stories that I have as his first grandchild. But really, all of us have these memories. Maybe just one is for me. I'll tell you which one. So morning walks is something that was initiated by my mom, but it was something that Tata and Patti did almost on. They try to do it on a daily basis when we went there. And those moments, like I hated waking up in the morning, but we made it a point as much as we could to wake up and walk with them. And that was our private time with them. One of us would take Patti, one of us would take Tata, or we'd go in groups. And we got the most advice, and we were able to share our stories. And through those experiences, Tata became our friend. Then this one's for me. When I was younger, Tata used to have the habit of smoking, and I tried the best I could to get under his skin. So I used to hide his cigarettes, and he was cranky. But the only person that he ever slightly showed it to was Patti, and I could hear it, and I realized that he must have a lot of patience because I threw away everything I could find and he would buy more and I just kept going. So his patience is something I need to figure out. Golf. Some people did mention golf. Golf is something that he taught me in India, and we all kind of brought it from India here. People are very curious as to how we learned in India when there was hardly any grass in that heat. But he was able to, and as much as I don't know if I love it as much as he did at this moment, is something that we can all take with us and say that we learned from him and move forward with it. And the last thing is he loved technology. So he was sending us emails in 2006. Probably before that, that's all my memory could hold. But he also learned how to use the touch screens, cell phone, the Apple Watch. He just needed to be in constant communication with the rest of the world as much as we were. And as much patience as we needed to teach him at that moment, he learned it. And I'm so grateful he did because we had more interaction with him later. Sorry, I've been talking a lot longer than I thought I would. So the last thing, all of us have a story that resonates with us, or something about Tata that resonates with us. For me, like I said, he was my friend. Um, and I used to say this. I think I'd even told that he was the one person in this family that truly understood me without even me saying anything to him. Um, and that's just to say how much he would observe and understand people from the inside out. So Tata, I know you're physically not here, but just know that I'm gonna keep coming back to you because I need your advice for my next steps. Okay. Well,
Hi, everyone. Um, I made a poem for my tata that I would like to share with all of you. Dear Tata, those memories of you will always bring me a smile. If only we could have you back for only just a while. Tata, you have watched us come and go and watched us make the same mistakes that you have made before.
Yeah. You would always listen. Padi, 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 padi. You're strong. You have to read it. You would. Come on. Tanni kudu. Padi, padi. Tanni kudu. Tanni kudichu. Tanni kudu. Tanni kudichu. Calm padi. Calmness. Breathe. Deep breath.
You want me to read?
Padi. No, she will. She will. Ah. You would. Come on.
Tata wants to hear it from
You would. Deep breath. Panika. You would start.
You would you
You would always listen.
you would always listen while your arms would always hold love that never ending and a heart that's made of gold. You have always meant the most to us, and we're special, that's no lie. You brightened up the darkest day and cleared the cloudiest sky. Many tears that I have seen and cried, they have all poured out like rain, but we knew that you are happy now and no longer in any pain. Tata, I know you would love this poem. That's why I made this for you. You have kept the family stuck like glue, and that will continue to happen because of you. I love you, Tata.
Good job. Tanni kudichu. Huh? Nipet. Wait.
Nice speech, Vaish. And I actually shared a close connection with Tata when I stayed in India when I was younger, when I was a young kid. And I actually really gave him a really hard time. I'll be the first to admit that. When I was younger, I would always trouble him, even after he came from work, to always take me to the store and get more candy and stuff like that. But really, what stood out to me during all that time was that he always did everything with a smile. Even when he was tired, he'd come back working and everything, managing everything at home. But he would still take me every single time, every day. He would still take me, and he did everything with a smile. He gave me four kind of like mothers with his four daughters and a lot of great other cousins. And the main thing that he left for us was he kind of motivates us all to be better today. And he kind of left the footprint for us to kind of carry on for our family. And yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming here. And yeah.
I would like to call upon a few friends we had already requested to talk about dad. Um, Mr. Sudhakar, he is a physiotherapist for my dad. Last few times he had come and helped dad gain strength to get more endurance with his day-to-day activities. Mr. Sudhakar.
First of all, I would like to express my deepest condolence to all the family. I know Subbiah only for the last 2 months. I already miss him. So if I miss him in 2 months, I can imagine how much he impacted in all of your life. When I've been called to help him out a little bit a couple months back, I went there without knowing any of his background. And he greeted me. He was standing with this lungi and he greeted me. And I didn't know that this man has so much surprises for me to, explore. And when I saw him first, he said like, I have few fears to come out. And even though I know him only for 2 months, like a good movie, feel good movie, like 2 hours movie, I learned his life, all his fun stuff as he was in India, as he is here. And had an opportunity to closely witness his inner circle, and which would like to share here because he was a very proud father, and he was so indebted to his family for all the supports they've been offering. And I noticed that he treated his in-laws more than has his sons because he was so happy. And I witnessed all the family members how much they dedicated their time. It is going to be a very hard task for the family members to rearrange their schedule because every single hour has been woven to around him. And being every time I go there, he offered me some surprise with his lifestyle. I didn't know that he's a golfer. And when I knew, I said like, oh, where did you learn it? Like here? He said like, no, back in years, like when I was in India. And I didn't know he was working for military. Such a disciplined man. And his day is well meticulously right from the moment he woke up to the time he go back to the bed. Every hour he has a schedule. Literally he has a written schedule. And the most thing bothered him was like if he couldn't keep up with his schedule. I even joked it to him, at this age, who is going to come behind you to check on your schedule? Just you make excuse. But he didn't. And lastly, I shook his hand when I was signing off with him on last Friday. I didn't know that that was going to be last thing. When I worked with him to make him a little stronger, I didn't do much of my job. All I need to do is I need to tap his potential because he was full of potential. And I learned that he was in military, and he was a golfer. He loves bridge, and his language skills. We had to really, comment on that. He has a good language, English. Tamil, I learned that he was volunteering to do some teaching in Tamil school. And he has passion. He was writing his biography. And in fact, that's one of the things we discussed on my last meeting with him, that we are trying to publish his biography. We are trying to coordinate with some publishers in India to proofread and publish it for the family to have it as a book. So he was very meticulous about what he is doing, and he was very proud, very proud. And I didn't know the extended family, but I know Uma, and I know Lata and Mani and Anbu, and you guys are phenomenal because he was so happy to have you all, and sometimes he even overwhelmed with all the love and the care you have given to him. So he was a proud father, and you guys did phenomenal job, and hats off to you. And I know it's going to take a long time to reschedule your life without his physical presence, but whatever you do, he's going to be blessing upon you. And another thing, I was surprised, though Uma was his belief and other stuff, and I was surprised. I'm a believer of Lord Ayyappa, and he was going to Ayyappa temple for 21 years, and he was Gurusami in certain occasions. So he's full of places, and is one such a fine gentleman we are going to miss. And again, my sincere prayer for all the Subbiah family to stay strong in this situation.
I would like to call upon Abhirami. She wrote a Tamil poem for my dad. I just mentioned to her last minute yesterday night that I was sending her out the visitation information, and immediately she came up with a poem for my dad. And she will, I think, be the best person to tell how she knows my dad. Thank you, Abhirami. Also, I'm calling upon before Abhirami, Mr. Sethu Raman uncle. He knows my dad through his bridge connections, Tamil Sangam, and Tamil school as well.
I like to offer my condolences to the family and the friends, all of them together at the same time. Uh, about 4 or 5 years ago, I met Uma and Lata at a dance program. At the time, I thought that he was coming to this country new, and he does not have that many friends in here technically. And then I learned that he is a very avid card player. He used to play poker, he used to play three cards, he used to play bridge. And at that time, we were all playing bridge, me and a couple of my friends. So we just invited him to join with us. And from that point on, it is so appropriate. This is like every Wednesday, we meet around 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. at the community center of Troy. And we used to play till 9 o'clock. Almost 6-7 hours we play. In the middle, we take a break around 4 or 5 for our coffee break so that we don't sleep off. And then we go back at 9 o'clock. Rain or snow, dark, cold, nothing. Nothing faces him. The only thing I liked about it, with like about 7, that is usually we do it on Wednesday too. I mean, this is irony. This is the great ironic thing, because we do it on a Wednesday. And during that one of the conversations, during the coffee break, if you want to call it like that, we do a lot of talk about this and that and love in India and how life in India, life in America, all kinds of things. But I'm going to tell you one thing what I admire about him. Abhirami is our school principal, Tamil school principal, and the grandkids are Tamil school students. So she's going to talk about his Tamil interest in Tamil language and his teaching and all those things. As a principal, she's more knowledgeable and authoritative to talk about it. But as his bridge player, I'm going to talk about one simple thing. All those years, we spent about 7, 8 hours, 9 hours together. I never, ever see him or tell us about his achievement, what he did and what he didn't do. That's a simple man. That is what, I don't care whether he is a big engineer or he has patents. I really don't care. But he was so simple because I'm telling you a lot of things I know about him only after reading that obituary sent to me today. Looking at that man or talking to that man, you won't believe how great he is, because he never, ever, like I said, telling me, oh, Seth Raman, I did this, in India, I worked like this, in blah, blah. Nothing. We play cards, we had fun, we drank some coffee, and even he offered to, the beginning, I think they brought some coffee with, like a flask and everything. And then later on, we decided we will go into that. And I still remember the first game he came, he brought some potato chips or something like that for the munchies. I don't know. This I can quote some poem from Kamban in Kambaramayana, but I don't know how many of you understand that Tamil language that much. Even though the grandkids went to Tamil school, they don't understand Kambaramayana that much. That's the only thing I can tell you about him is it's a very, very simple man, and he led a beautiful, fruitful life. Kids, grandkids, loving, and he left this place with all of them with him at the time. That's very rare. When you come to this country, like like us, the kids are in India and all kinds of different things, and it's going to be very, very hard usually. And he was fortunate in that way, and he achieved a lot. And I salute his simplicity one more time. I will give it to Abhirami to talk about the Tamil school.
Thanks, Uncle. Behalf of our Tamil school teachers, parents, and volunteers, I would like to express our deepest condolence to the uncle's family and friends and relatives. Setharaman uncle already he told everything in English. I guess whatever I am going to translate in my Tamil poem. Actually, uncle worked in our Tamil school for 5+ years, more than 5+ years. Yeah. This is the poem. I wrote it in Tamil language. So, பிரியமுள்ள சுப்பையா ஐயா, அன்னை தமிழ் கற்றுத்தந்தவர் நீங்கள். அன்னை தமிழ் கற்றுத்தந்தவர் நீங்கள். தமிழன்னை புவி மீது பற்று வைத்தவரும் நீங்கள். இனிய தருணங்களை எங்கள் தமிழ் பள்ளி மாணவர்களுக்கு உரித்தாக்கியவரும் நீங்கள். எங்கள் தமிழ் பள்ளி மாணவர்களுக்கு உரித்தாக்கியவரும் நீங்கள். இற்றுவிடா இனிய வாழ்வை மக்களுக்கு அளித்தவரும் நீங்கள். நல்லவர் பெயர் விளங்கும் அவனியிலே தன்னார்வலரான ஐயா உங்கள் பெயரும் விளங்கும். நல்லவர் பெயர் விளங்கும் அவனியிலே தன்னார்வலரான ஐயா உங்கள் பெயரும் விளங்கும். அன்போடு பழகி நேசத்தோடு அனைவரையும் அரவணைப்பவர் நீங்கள். அயலவரையும் உறவுகளையும் உள்ளத்தால் இணைத்தவரும் நீங்கள். புன்னகை முகமகிழ்வு கொண்டு நெஞ்சார நேசித்து வாழ்ந்த நீங்கள் இன்று விடை பெற்றாலும் எங்கள் மனதை விட்டு அகலவே மாட்டீர்கள். எங்கள் மனதை விட்டு அகலவே மாட்டீர்கள். தங்கள் ஆத்மா நன்னிலை பெற்று இறைவன் திருவடியை அடைய வேண்டுகிறோம். உங்கள் நண்பர்கள் மற்றும் ஆசிரியர்கள், நுண்மான் தமிழ் கல்விக் கழகம், மிஷிகன். நன்றி.
ஒரு செகண்ட். ஷேகர் நீங்க பேச போறீங்களா? இல்ல. ஓகே. ஃப்ரீமேசன் அங்கிள் இல்லையே. இல்ல அவங்க ரெக்கார்ட் பண்ணத ப்ளே பண்ணுங்க. Okay. We have one audio eulogy which was recorded by Prasad uncle, my dad's Mason, his Freemason member, and we are going to try and play that audio. And
in one of many roles he has played in life, his big part of it also is a Freemason lodge member. He dedicated his life in that also for quite some time. I don't know how many years. I'm very weak on memory things. So, but his passion was on it a lot too. And I think we missed it in some places, mentioning along with other activities, because he did a lot of that after retirement. And he has a big group of members. It's more a social work, and they had their own rules, policies, and regulations that dad kept to it. And his big group of friends are in India. I hope they're able to see it. And one of the uncles from that group has talked about dad on that. So that's something Appa would not have want to miss it, because that was his major part of his life.
Velukonar Subbiah, fondly called as V. Subbiah, has been a great friend for over 30 years, and also a great co-Freemason, a co-golfer, and also sometimes who played the card. Excellent excellent man, excellent Freemason, excellent in whatever he has done as a family man, as a man contributing to the society, in the Masonic fraternity, and for social cause, very helpful nature. Should highly appreciate, I was saying, his honesty, integrity, and loyalty, simplicity, humility. One, all other excellences of character. Such a great man he was. I came to know him 30 years ago when he retired from the First Chief Engineers Military Engineering Services and landed in South India in Chennai. I met him previously again, and he became very dedicated, excellent, delivering his best in rituals and conducting himself as a Freemason, true to the Masonic principle in his personal and social life. He was a bright example of a man who we all like to follow and emulate. A great family man, dedicated and devoted. And because of these excellences of character, he is blessed with an excellent daughters, 4 daughters, and married to in-laws, and with 7 grandchildren. And he was dedicated to his wife during her ailing days, about 4 years back, and he was at her service, at her majesty's service, with all the daughters present around him. He took care of her so well, but yet Lord didn't want that to continue. Likewise, today, he had gone through excellent care rendered by her affectionate daughters. He was treated like a child. He's, despite everything good, he's down, not with us. It's indeed a terrible loss to all of us. I cannot digest at any time. Cannot digest at any time. So, all that I can say at this moment is to express my sincere condolences to the family members of Subbiah and pray to the Almighty to grant him children, grandchildren, in-law, all the members, and all his friends, and glorious future with his best blessings and wishes. And of course, we will all live with his pleasant memories until time with us shall be no more. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to open my heart to flood out my water of sorrow. Give me some solace. Thank you. Bye.
Shankar wants to talk. Vidya, have dad's close friend, uh, his close friend, Mr. Vidya, talking a few words.
Hello, everyone. The little I know, Uncle seemed to have left a long lasting relationship with me. I don't know what it is. Sometimes we cannot explain many of these things in life. And many of you talked about is full of accolades and his achievements, many things. And I wanted to talk about one incident that I had with him. He used to come to Bangalore quite often and he used to visit his daughter, and it was on the way our house. He used to stop by. One day, I happened to be in Bangalore, and myself, uh, uncle, and Mani's father, and my father-in-law, all of us went to breakfast. That was one of the famous restaurant in Bangalore, which is also in Chennai. woodlands. So typically in woodlands, you always ask for typical upma plus kshira, followed by pongal, and then dosa. We all ate, and then time for coffee. Then we ordered for coffee, and he stood up and went out. And he came back, and Mani's father asked him, "Where did you go?" He said, "I went to ask for a double strong coffee." And we sat, coffee came. Along with the coffee, he came an extra pongal. And this is what, and Mani's father asked, "Is this what you asked him?" No, I asked two. You brought only one for me and for you. Then he pushed the plate to him and he pushed the plate to him. You take this, you take this. Then finally they split. So that tells me that how much food he loved. And he always loved food. And he lived for everything. And I never saw Mani becoming so emotional. And when he mentioned about his wife passed away on August 1st, and he passed away, it only tells me that his wife is calling him, "Hey, I've been there for 4 years. I've been alone. It's about time. Come over." So let's send him with a good heart. Thank you.
I cannot fight my mom, so let him go.
Um, that concludes our eulogy. And thanks to all of you. A lot of these things were not really planned, but it was just a natural outpouring. Thanks so much, Vidya. I remember. I want to echo that same sentiment. The auntie is saying there. They said, "பசங்களை படுத்துனது போதும், இங்க வாங்க." So I heeded the call, August 1st. So he is with the auntie. Okay, so I think we're special, truly blessed. So thanks so much. So um, I'll ask Cassandra to come talk about the puja and the cremation and the process. To join, there's no space restriction, so I'll hand it over to her.
Ladies and gentlemen, traveling to Whitechapel for the puja service and cremation. For those of you who have not yet placed your vehicle in the procession line, when you exit the building, just bring your car into the line and we'll place a flag on it. For the cars in procession, please engage high beam headlights and four-way emergency flashers. Though we do have the right of way, we recommend that you avoid distractions while driving and be attentive to traffic. At this time, we'd like to invite folks to come forward, place rose petals into the casket before exiting through the doors to your left into the parking lot. If the pallbearers could remain behind to assist with lifting. Thank you.